Judge is like,
That was horrible. You clapped twice. One clap.
okay, again?
No, all rise for your honor.
Are we doing this now? Oh, we're actually
wow.
rising?
Hell yeah, we are.
Wow.
And
Wait,
then-
you don't get up?
Yeah,
No,
you
well,
don't, do
I
you?
usually am walking in, and then I sit down and I say, "You may be seated. Thank you.
Oh, we
Good
should have
morning."
had him walk
Yeah.
in.
Too much pomp and circumstance.
I would have tripped on something.
Well, next time. If you don't know, we have Judge here, and I'm so excited. We obviously just did our It's a Lots, but I want to get straight into it. What is your It's a Lot?
My It's a Lot. I think Hank's phone is a lot.
Oh,
That's my It's a Lot.
like
right now.
always going off?
Always going off, but I think specifically with you being here or upcoming to be here, it's been a lot.
It's been a lot.
And I apologize for that to
Yeah.
both of you.
Yeah.
Also,
Not necessarily because of you necessarily.
No, it's everything surrounding.
all my
Correct.
fault.
There's just a lot of messages, but I will say that we had this conversation a few days ago. We're both very cognizant of the fact that sometimes our work lives, things can happen last minute. We're not 9-to-5ers. There's a lot going on. So I think that has been good for us in our relationship. Am I addicted to my phone? I'm addicted to my phone.
Yes.
If that's what we're looking for here,
Listen-
if we're looking for a group kumbaya, that I have a phone addiction problem, that I'm Googling what is Britney Spears eating for dinner at 4 a.m, I do have an addiction to my phone.
What is she eating for dinner?
Well, as you may know, she's on a paleo diet. No, I'm just
oh
kidding.
my gosh,
I have no
speaking,
idea.
are you still vegetarian?
99%. I'm a pescatarian.
He's a pescatarian as of
I
last
eat
week.
fish.
Okay, yeah, that's good. I feel
Yeah.
like that's
Yeah.
doable.
He
Yeah.
got really tired. He needed some protein.
I need
I
more
couldn't
protein.
imagine
Yeah, he
living
was
with
getting
someone.
really sleepy.
Well, I need details. Living
Yeah.
with someone who's trying to become a vegetarian, like how are the mood swings?
We've been avoiding pasta because there's a lot of pasta, a lot of carbs.
Yeah.
He was tired a lot in the very beginning.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I think I'm gonna have a steak.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Did you eat it in front of him?
I have.
Yeah, and that's fine.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm not going to be one of
Love
these
that.
people that's like a friend's having a barbecue and I'm going to show up with a tofu burger. Heaven forbid. I'm going to eat a burger. But for the most part,
It'll be the last time you're invited.
I am not one of these PETA thumping vegetarians. I'm, for the most part, am just trying to make significant
decisions.
health changes for my heart. But that doesn't mean that I'm never going to eat meat. So if you see me at the Red Lobster and I'm eating the cheddar biscuits and I've got Red Lobster's a bad call because I'm thinking like Capital Grill and I order like a steak or something like that, then that's fine.
Can I ask a question? Why
Yeah.
would you order a steak at a Red Lobster?
Wait, exactly. Well, they have surf and turf.
You've never taken me to a Red Lobster.
I love
Oh
a
my
cheddar biscuit
gosh.
at the Red Lobster.
They do have good cheddar biscuits, but
Yeah.
the last time Matthew and I went there was we weren't in college. He was in the NFL. He came back. We went to the Red Lobster in Athens, Georgia. I'll never forget this story, y'all. We sit down. Matthew is very particular. Like if he sits down and sees something that could possibly make him feel nauseous, he can't eat there. We sat down at IHOP. Some man had a brain surgery. It was like an open wound situation, and he was like, "Oh my god, I can't eat here." And then we went to Red Lobster, and there was a very out of shape man,
Yes.
and he was lifting up to fart
Oh, absolutely.
and going
No.
back down. That
No.
Absolutely not.
has scarred me from it. But those cheddar biscuits now,
They
that would be
are
the only thing that would bring
so
me back. Hold on, you said something that I
good.
think is pretty interesting. That both your jobs, you're kind of there's not like a 9-to-5 situation.
Mhm.
So you both understand that you have to be on your phone some past the work hours. What do you think back in the days where there was no phones, no emails, and people were doing 9-to-5s, and you could not get in contact with them after 5 o'clock? Could you imagine life like that?
I mean, I can remember very early in my reporter career, I had a. Why is this funny?
I forgot you were that old. Go ahead.
Yes, I can. I can remember having a beeper. Do
You had
remember
a pager?
a pager? I call it a beeper.
Okay.
I remember my parents having that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh boy, and
Oh.
that's gonna segue very nicely into our next story.
All right, we're moving on.
But yeah, I had a beeper and it would like beep. It would be like, obviously, and then you would read a message on it.
Okay.
No?
Yeah,
Okay.
and then it had a number, and you'd have to call that number,
Yeah,
or it would just.
Find a
yeah.
payphone.
I mean, I had always,
Oh,
from
man.
the beginning of my professional career, there was always some sort of a cell phone. Now, it may have been the size of your shoe
Yeah.
and tied to a brick, but we
Yeah.
always had some sort of communication
I
like
guess
that.
with you being in the media too, you kind of have to have some communication outside of work. But I'm wondering I don't know, the everydayers that go to work 9 to 5. I'm trying to think of a job that's like that where they're not
Like a bank teller.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they can't get a hold of you.
Yeah.
And they can't send you emails of like something you need to do while you're at home. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah.
That sounds like a much better life.
Yeah, I mean, there's just a lot. There's media is crazy, but then like his judicial world, there can be in the middle of the night, there can be a request for a warrant to be signed. You know what I mean? So there's they
wild.
kind of do an on-call rotation like we do, but there'll be a judge who's assigned to a specific phone in case there's a middle of the night we need a warrant.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
That's cool. It's not cool. I'm sure the situation's not cool, but
Yeah.
like that's kind of bad.
it's interesting.
Okay, wait. So you started with the Target story.
I'm
I
gonna
need the
let
Target
him
story.
tell the Target story because we have two different versions of it.
Yes. Okay.
Well, okay. There's the version that happened because it happened, and then there's the
There's
version
Hank's
that he got told later that he,
okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
So we're in the checkout line,
Uh-huh.
and he was FaceTiming with Emma, their nightly
Okay.
call, and we're checking out like a lot of stuff.
Who
And
doesn't
we're-
Target?
I mean, it was just it was like the epic Target run
Yeah.
on Labor Day.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah,
You went
At
to Target on
night,
Labor
at
Day?
At night.
Okay.
And the lovely checkout girl reminded me of the SNL skit with Kristen Wiig.
Okay.
I mean, it was her. It was
Yeah.
Target lady.
And
all day long.
I've been to her. I'm a repeat person.
So she
for her.
knows you.
Yeah,
I mean, it
she
was
knows me. She knows Emma. She
just
knows
short
us.
of welcome to Target. I mean, it was
Yeah.
very that. It was
Yeah.
very that.
Okay.
And she's sweet. It's we're going through. He's on the FaceTime, and I'm trying to like put some bags away, and it was very clear he was talking to his daughter. And first day of school and all that excitement. And at some point during the exchange, there was "Is this your dad?" And I was like,
to him.
to me, in line.
Oh no.
Yeah, it was pretty rough. But he didn't hear it. So I'm thinking, okay, we're gonna get through this. We're just gonna keep putting bags in the cart. We're gonna be okay. She keeps apologizing over and over and over.
Oh God, it makes
the
it
phone
worse.
call hangs up, and he's like, "What are you apologizing for?" And she's like, "I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I thought that this was your kid. Like it was." She said, I asked if this was your dad."
Yeah. I'm
And
like,
then he goes,
"Well,
"What?"
we're out." I go, "Unless you're giving me some big discount, we're out of here.
That Target
we're
red
gone."
card circle thing is not
That
5% is
ain't
not
cutting
enough.
Yeah.
Wait,
but
what was your actual?
I digested the story a little bit differently.
Okay.
Because
let's
of
hear your
course our
side.
first call was to our friend Karen Drew, who loves nothing more than these stories. And it was my understanding of it was she knew I was talking to Emma, and she was like, "Oh, he's such a good dad." Not to him like, "Is that your dad?" Just kind of like saying like to him, "Oh, he's such a good dad." Not like, "Is that your dad also?" Is how I digested it.
Got it.
But then that doesn't explain why she
Why
was
she was
apologizing.
apologizing.
Yeah, so I mean,
So
to
there
be
is
fair,
a part of it that
I
didn't register correctly.
I really truly don't think you look like his father by
Correct.
any means.
Yes, and she's
How
since
old
been
is
fired.
she? How old is
Um,
this girl?
well,
she's probably
TBD. I'm not really sure.
She's probably 30s.
She did say whenever he comes through my line, he's a lot of fun, and he always seems like he's a lot of fun. And I did say something to the effect of, "Oh, he's a great time. He's a lot of fun."
Oh,
and
I
we
think that's
enjoy
what it was. He
Yeah.
said he's a great dad. Judge said that.
Wait, you didn't know-
But that's
and
when
so
you first told me the story. You said she's like, "He's a lot of fun and he's so good with his daughter," and he said he's a great dad. And then my understanding was her response was, "Oh, is that your dad too?"
Oh, okay. Well,
That's how I digest.
I wish we had a transcript. But
See,
okay.
now this
Okay.
is again, and we have these moments about, but when you are in a relationship, which is wonderful, with a judge slash attorney, it is, what are the facts, ma'am? Let's go over your version of events and my version of events, and let's lay it all out. And
Let's
do we
pull
have a
the tape.
court reporter
I
and
wanna
roll
pull the tape.
Yeah, pull the tape. And how's it?
I think we
that
could
should be
probably
my answer.
get that done. Should
Yeah.
we call up the Target,
Target?
you guys are at? I
Yeah.
mean, you gotta
And
have her name by now.
I enjoy her a lot. I usually try to find her in line, but usually, like when I'm checking out, somebody will say hello, or I'm talking to a different parent, or that's what happens.
Always chit-chatting.
Oh,
we
it can't
will
shut
let the
up.
record reflect that the phone addiction just happened right now.
Are you kidding? Guys, we literally sat
happening
down.
again. It's
This
happening.
happened 5 minutes. Look up.
Yes. Hello. Hi. Sorry, I had to respond to
This
something.
is unreal. We had
It's
just
happening real
yes,
time.
you're
Yeah.
and you know what? I was going to give you the benefit of the doubt, but you can't even get away from it when we tell you not to look at it.
Okay. So what's the next thing that we're doing now? That was fun.
Easy solve. Just turn it over.
Yeah.
What's
that
your
was-
what's your addiction of choice?
Ooh, I plead the fifth.
Oh,
No.
I would if I say
Yeah.
I think and this is a great thing to be addicted to, but he's really into yoga.
oh, that's really
that's
good.
fair.
Like
Yeah.
it's like
Yeah,
I'm
that's
like,
fair.
oh, can we do
Yeah.
this? And he's like, I really don't want to miss that class. I'm like, go,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
it's good. It's fine.
Why
I-
don't you go?
Huh? I'm not a yogi.
I'm not either. I get
yeah,
it.
yeah,
I
I
know
like
he
it.
tried to get me to go
I
when
did.
I was here,
Yeah.
and I was like, "What about if you come play tennis
yeah.
instead?"
So
I
I'm
can
gonna
play
do.
pickleball.
I'm gonna do it, but I don't want to do it. Like he like really likes it.
I
So
do
that's
think
great.
it's like really, honestly, if you're in a relationship with someone who is a yogi, it's very centering. Like I feel like Matthew, if he didn't play football, which football and yoga are obviously two way different things, but he always during the off season is like either Pilates or yoga because he
Yeah.
can't really do much else.
Yeah.
But whenever he comes home from yoga, now I don't know if you guys know this, Chef Chris is like a huge yogi
Oh,
now.
is he? Oh,
Yes.
I didn't know
And
that.
I feel like they're always very centered. You
Mhm.
seem very centered.
Oh,
I think
okay.
he needs it for the chaos of what he deals with at work is
Yeah.
tough, and so you
Yeah.
need something to kind of let you mentally escape from that.
Well, you know what we used to mentally escape when we first met?
Hmm.
Just a couple shots. Judge and I met in
Yeah.
New York.
Mm.
We
And
did.
I tell you, did I cry to you? Something happened. I don't even remember.
There's at least one moment in the Uber because
Ah.
they left us. Matthew
Yeah.
and Hank left us at that restaurant.
Always.
Okay. That's a big
Yeah,
exhale.
because that was just not. Again, it's not. Let the record reflect.
Let the facts
While
show.
we did leave, it was, and I can't remember why, but there was a reason for it.
Well, let the facts show that you left
we
without
did
us.
leave.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, you left
Matthew
us
and I
there.
left in
It's
a
fine. We
separate
had a
car.
way more fun.
We had
Yeah.
a lot more fun on our Uber. There was a moment trying to get your top on.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Mm.
That gold halter top thing. That was
You know
yeah.
what? Immediately, I knew
Yeah.
we were going to be besties. We'll leave Hank out of it from now on.
That's fine.
Uh,
That's fine. I'll just hang out with Matthew. We're good.
Well, he doesn't hang out, so good luck with that.
Yeah. I know.
No, but I've told you this before, but I love you two together. I love what you do for my best friend Hank. You make him happy, and honestly, I don't know. It's different. It feels very different than the previous, in so many good ways. But before I get any further with that, I do want people to get to know your backstory. I mean, everyone
Okay.
knows you're a judge. How about this? This is actually really funny. This morning, Hank was like, Kirsten over the itinerary, she has Jake in it like 9 times. He goes, who's all the Jakes? And I look at it and I was like, Judge Jake, and there's another Jake that's coming into town that's one of our friends. And I was like, wait, what's Judge's real name? I'm so
Yeah.
used to calling you Judge. I was like,
Yeah.
I don't know who the other Jake is. Is
Yeah.
that Jake? And he was
Yeah.
like, yes, his name's Jake. I was like, oh, shit.
But
Oh, my bad.
I can remember when we first started dating too. You said to me when you became, and I also didn't know the difference between being an elected and an appointed judge. Do you know the difference between that, or how significant
Well, elected,
it is?
you're elected by your peers.
Right,
Appointed,
right.
you're just like given it.
Yeah, basically.
Is that right?
Out of respect for my colleagues, I wouldn't say given it.
Oh,
but,
not given.
Yeah, but
Okay.
there's 2 paths to becoming a judge. You either elect in Michigan. You're either elected through an election, which we
Okay.
have coming up,
Oh.
or you're appointed by the governor
Okay.
if there's an opening.
Got it. Okay.
And this election coming up, even though your name is on the ballot, you're not running against somebody.
Well,
How does that work?
I am running for reelection.
You're
So
running
my
for
name
re-election.
Is on the ballot in November.
Yeah.
Yes.
If you're in Oakland County.
You're an Oakland County voter.
Yeah.
Go obviously go vote for Judge
Well,
Jake.
yeah, but
but-
my thing about it is that you're not it's not one of those races where you're running against another person.
Right. No one is running against the seat I'm running for.
Right,
So,
okay,
But you
got it.
still have to be voted in.
I still have to be voted in.
Got it.
There's a few incumbents. There's 5 of us, 5 or 6.
Okay.
And then there's an open seat too. So there's kind of
So a governor can appoint one.
no. So the open seat
Oh.
is someone is retiring. So that one is ran for. I got my seat through a retirement. So someone retired, and then they finished their term, which
And
is
then you ran.
and then you ran. So after
Yeah.
the election, they're still on the bench for 2 months, and then the term always begins at noon on January 1st.
Yeah.
Wow.
But yeah, the
So-
governor appoints people too.
Yeah.
So, it's
So
just
that
about-
And that's
happens
Governor Whitmer.
when it's
Correct.
when it's not an open seat to run for, like if
Uh-huh.
someone retires mid-year, then the
Got
governor
it.
will
Okay.
appoint to fill
Oh,
the seat.
okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
So,
So
but my name will appear not as Judge Jake. It'll appear as
what will it appear as? So
it'll
people
appear
know.
as Jacob James Cunningham. So,
Okay.
Yeah.
The
and I went to go
Jacob
see
James
I went to go
Cunningham.
see him at court one day.
That photos of tell us.
Well,
wanna
I
hear all
had
of
that
it.
was a different day. I had a case that I was actually following that we've done stories on, this Birmingham bridal scam, which you guys may have seen on the news. But that case got adjourned, And so I went into his courtroom and I like went just to peek my head in. And I barely had my big old noggin in the door, and he wasn't in session, but his clerks like came running in. They're like, "Hey, come on, come hang out in his office. He's not here right now." And I'm like, "Okay, well, I have a few minutes." And the next thing I know, I'm sitting in his office. They've got all the Kit Kat bars out, the
Oh, yeah, I
M&Ms.
freaking love
I'm
it.
sitting at his desk. I've got my feet up on his desk. I'm pretending. They're like, "Let's take pictures." I'm like, "Okay."
It was good.
It was good.
And then my mom came that day too.
Yeah,
actually.
your
She
mom
was
came
at the
that
courthouse
day.
for like a different thing. So
Yeah.
it was like take everybody to work day.
Wait,
But I
love
did
that.
see him once when he was actually in session.
That's what I wanna hear about.
Yeah, he was in session. It wasn't a trial.
I believe I was at the trial.
But so I just sat in the back because I'm always nervous, and I just sit in the very back. And then his clerk came up and handed me a note, and it said, "Would you like a cup of coffee?" or something like that. And I'm like,
That's
"No, I'm
so
okay."
sweet.
And
They're
then,
very attentive. My clerks are great.
Yeah, and
I
then
love that.
during a recess, I went back to his chambers and saw his office and stuff like that. So
Yeah, you did.
yeah,
Yeah, you did.
calm down, Mrs.
I mean,
Stafford.
to be honest, well, this is something that I will say. I love watching Matthew do what he does. Like
Yeah.
what he is good at, what he is passionate at. And I know I have a feeling that you are very passionate in your courtroom. You did tell me that you didn't. I lost
It's
the word
called a
again.
gavel.
The hammer.
The hammer. Yeah.
The
Ooh.
gavel.
Give me that hammer. I'm just kidding. The hammer, instead you just raise your voice, which I feel like that is like passion. Like I just feel like, I don't know. I get very excited when I watch Matthew play. Did you?
Yeah.
you
No,
feel it?
I was just listen. I know he loves his job, and I know he cares about his job. Like the idea of sending somebody to prison, I don't think sits lightly with any judge sitting on the bench. There's a lot to that. It's very heavy.
Yeah.
But to watch him manage the court, to watch him like making sure the jury's paying attention, understand what's happening with the attorneys, and then when I've seen episodes, or hear about episodes like, he's all about decorum and respect in the court. And I think was it somebody who was vaping in the court or using their cell phone? And his reaction was, "You're in a court of law." Like it was just
Yeah,
like,
very matter of fact.
yeah, but it's
What are
just
you
like, it's astounding sometimes how people behave. And he doesn't flinch about reminding people that they need to understand where they are.
God, maybe
Yeah.
you should like run for president. I feel like just keeping people in check would be nice.
Well, going back to the whole gavel thing, I would be afraid I'd hit myself in the face with it if I used one. So that's
No, you
also why I
can't
don't
do
use
that.
it.
It's too pretty.
Yeah.
It's too
We don't
pretty.
wanna
Don't do that. I know.
Yeah.
So I actually, this is funny. My best friend growing up, her dad was a judge
Okay.
in Fulton County, Georgia, I believe. I don't know if I got that right. And I remember like he couldn't talk about anything, but his hours, he would get up like 4 a.m. and get on the phone, get on the computer, and then he'd be in that chair and he would come home. And I feel like I remember his wife being like, "How was your day?" And he's like, "Can't talk about it."
Yeah.
It's like so interesting. Like is that maybe he was an attorney at this point? I can't remember, but like, is there a space where you're like, I can't go there with you?
Well, you can't talk about active pending cases. You
Maybe
can't
that's
talk
what it
about what's
was.
going on. But, a part of it too is like decision fatigue. And I'll say something about him that I really appreciate is that like there's been days where I have like a really long day. Like when I have one of my dockets, can be all day and
Yeah.
it's 60 or 70 cases. And you make a lot of decisions. Big decisions, small decisions, scheduling decisions, all
those
kinds of decisions. And it's after, one after another, after another,
Yeah.
after another. And what I really appreciate is there's been a couple times where he's like, just stop by my house. I've got dinner. No, what do you want? No, what is it going to be? Just, it's here. And it's lovely. And it's great because
Yeah.
it's one less decision. And I don't think people realize how impactful that can be.
Wow.
And I really appreciate that.
Think about that.
Yeah.
Think about how much we put on deciding what we eat for dinner, and you're having to decide things all day long.
Yeah.
And like important things, like things that are going to change people's lives.
Yeah,
And that's
then
one of the
there's just
beauties
a
of the
sense
job.
of normalcy. Like we're screaming at Eunice, and Emma wants a piggyback ride, and you know what I
I
mean.
know,
Just
and
like all the like normal things.
Do you
It's
think
like-
that helps bring you out of it, having Emma, like to kind of bring you out of work mode in a way?
It's different.
Yeah.
It's certainly a different end to the day
Yeah.
than, maybe a few years for me. But
Yeah.
it's Eunice definitely.
Eunice is a
Eunice
nightmare.
really, really likes me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Eunice does. And
Eunice is a nightmare.
yeah, Eunice. Is,
How's her weight?
She's hasn't discovered dog Ozempic yet, but she's
Fluctuating.
working on it. Yeah,
Fluctuating.
She's-
Fluctuates.
she's
She's putting on her winter coat right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they, Jake had never really had like obviously like a child centered in life before like that, and they've done a really good job of building that relationship, and it's really cute to watch. Like even last night, she was like, "Is he coming over?" And then happened to call a few minutes later, and then she asked, and he's like, "Did she really ask that?" And I'm like, "No, that's like organic, you know."
I'm sometimes skeptical. I'm like, did you tell her to say that?
Yeah. Tell Emma's our favorite story that we laugh about all the time regarding your car.
Oh, this is so good.
This is great.
So I drive a convertible, and
hell
for the
yeah.
9 minutes in
Michigan?
where it's like
Nice.
normal, it's super fun. So I had the car in the driveway, top was down. It was beautiful summer day, and all the neighborhood kids. There's a lot of kids on the street, which I think is cool. Like
That's awesome.
And I have a
think it's
very
awesome.
open door, so it's
Love
just
that.
But at first he was like, "What the hell's going?" Like
People
The
just
fir-
in and out.
The
Yeah.
first time I was ever at his house, there was like 19 kids there. Everyone's screaming. He's putting a glass of wine. I'm like, I want two. Like, this is in a big gulp. But it was so all the kids are like, they're like oohing and eyeing over the car. And someone had a ball. I think it was Emma.
Yeah.
Emma had a ball, and some of the ball went like over the edge of the plane of the car into the car, which triggered the alarm. And these kids ran in every single direction. We were in his kid. By the time we got from the window to the door to be like, it's okay, because we saw them all running, we were laughing so hard, like I couldn't breathe.
Just all
it
scattered.
looked like an episode of Cops. I mean, 5 kids ran in 5 different directions as fast as they could. And by the time I got to the door, Emma's like almost scaling a fence to the neighbor across the street.
Emma ran?
But
And
they
all
all
of
ran.
them.
They instinctually knew that
And-
they had done something wrong, and they ran.
And in
like,
different
It was like
directions.
you were watching an episode of Cops.
It was like, you're on your own,
and
buddy.
they're
I'm out.
5.
Yeah.
And they were just like, vroom.
Yeah.
We're like,
So wait, when you're responsible for these kids, are you trying to chase after every single one of them and tell them
well,
to come
I
back?
mean,
Well, he wasn't
at
responsible.
some point, some of them were already like back at their houses.
Their
like,
parents
they
didn't
were
know where they
just
were.
like, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so they're close enough to where they can just walk to their houses.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Got it.
But
Okay.
it's very much like your neighborhood. Like, well, you met one of my neighbors this morning.
Yeah,
but it's just
she's very
much
nice.
like
Love her.
people come and go, and Emma
Yeah.
sometimes just walks into their house and.
I think that is such an incredible way to grow up.
Yeah.
Like, I think that is the way to do it.
Yeah, it's nice.
We have so much fear in this world right now, and so much, and for good reason. But if you can find a community where your kid can walk door to door and she's safe, I would never let go of that.
Yeah.
Emma runs. She doesn't walk.
She's high octane, but the neighbor next door who I adore, Angie, she knows I love her to death. But the first time Emma met them, she just walked into their house and she was like talking, and then she went and Angie was like on a Zoom call, and she looks and Emma walks behind her and then walked away, and then she came back and she's like, Emma, where were you? And Emma goes, I had to poop. I'm like, oh my God, welcome to my child.
It's
Like, why is my child going next door to poop? Like, we have 4 toilets. Like, come on back.
but why not?
I know.
Yeah, that's
I
fair.
know.
Why
Good
not?
question.
Yeah.
Why
I
not?
guess,
I
whatever.
think that's so good. I love Posh Peanut. I've loved them for quite some time. In fact, I am actually wearing a Posh Peanut Santa PJ right now. Why? Because they last forever. And I'm not opposed to wearing Santa pajamas in the middle of September. Anyways, why do I love Posh Peanut? Not only do they last a long time, they get softer after every wash. And really their main clientele is children, although they do have adult stuff too. But I love all of their pajamas, and not only that, they grow with my children. I mean, my kids have been in Posh Peanut since they were babies. And you know what? Tyler's still wearing 2 to 3T, and that child is a 5T and everything else. I love their stuff. I love that it's breathable. I love the fabric. It's stretchier and more comfy over time. And right now, Posh Peanut is offering our listeners 20% off your first order with the promo code Kelly. Go to poshpeanut.com/Kelly and use the promo code Kelly for 20% off your first order. That's poshpeanut.com/Kelly, promo code Kelly. Okay, and I want to get back to you a little bit. You were also married before.
Yes.
Correct. Okay. Can you give us a little bit of that history? Like, what age? How old were you?
I was 22
Okay.
when we met, and we were married for a couple years, and we were together about almost 16.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Jeff
From
and I
here
were
as well?
Yeah, and
Yes.
Jeff and I were together about altogether like 16 years.
Yeah.
So both of you were you said 16.
16, yeah.
About
Yeah.
16.
About
Wow.
16.
Yeah, it's that
Okay.
weird.
Yeah.
That is.
Yeah.
And your ex-partner's still here.
Yes.
Ex-husband.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you I kind of want to ask you both this. When it comes to exes, obviously your situation's a little different because you have a kid involved.
Yeah.
I'm sure he knows that now you're in another relationship.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
How I want to know. I do kind of want to know what those conversations are like, especially with you, Hank, because we touched on this, but you had not. It wasn't as serious. It was always serious, but like you guys are now hitting are at a different point in this relationship.
Yeah.
Yeah, now I'm on the podcast.
Yeah, there you go. It's real official now. But the conversations with both of your exes and like how that kind of went, because as someone who hasn't gone through divorce, there's a lot of people out there that have, and maybe they haven't met their next person. What's a good way that you found to go through that conversation with your ex-husband?
Well, I think it's different for.
It is
Yeah.
going to be different.
Because,
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
they have a child in common.
Yeah.
You know, I'm on good terms with my ex-husband. You know, it's a painful process.
Yeah.
You know, you do the best you can. Each day can have its ups and downs. And,
Yeah.
you just move forward and try and be a good person. you
Yeah.
know. But for though things happening, we wouldn't have met. So
Right.
that's,
Yeah.
That's
and in
what-
fact, the reason why I was even at that concert,
That's
where
how-
we
yeah,
met,
where we
was
met.
because one of my friends was like, "Listen, you're going through a rough time. Let's just go have fun." So
And the reason I was at that concert, we're talking about Madonna, is
Uh-huh.
because you bought me the tickets for Christmas.
I know.
Yeah.
Do you
It's all in
remember?
God's plan.
And had she not had her issue in August,
Do you remember
She
when
canceled her
Madonna
show.
almost died? You were probably like happy about it,
Stop.
but she
You can't say that on this podcast.
she
I was not.
rearranged the tour to a different date, and so it ended up coming, several months later. And then because of his job and because of what I do, I walk into the arena, and the first person I see is the Attorney General of Michigan, who I've known, is whatever, and she was with Jake
we were
at the
talking
time.
at the time. Yeah.
Yeah. And so she ran over to say hi to me, and then she's like, "Oh, come over. You have to meet some people." And he was kind of in the mix.
Yeah. Did
Yeah.
she have any idea that she was
She
somewhat
says
setting
no.
y'all up?
She
but-
says no, but she has also said this to me. I really enjoy setting up people. She
Yeah.
it's something to that effect.
Yeah.
She said I like putting good people together at times. So
Yeah.
so whether she admits it or not,
She says it was organic, but because she was with a group of other people.
She was.
And then I said something like, like we met, and I said, "Oh, are you on the same floor as I know this other judge, Judge Gorska?" I said, "Are you on Judge Gorska's floor?" And he's like,
I was
"No."
like, no.
Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah.
what is this?
No, but you were like, "Oh, kind of down the, whatever," and then that was it.
Yeah.
That was it for
was
that
Yeah,
night.
yeah.
Yeah.
And how did the numbers get exchanged?
A different friend.
A different friend who coincidentally, allegedly, see, this is a different
Coincidentally,
story.
allegedly.
Okay.
We both have a mutual friend. He's an attorney. I know him just as Chuck from the DAC. He knows him professionally, but he's friends with him also. And then,
Yeah.
like a few days later, I got a text from Chuck, and it said, "Hey, I'm not really sure what your situation is right now, but do you know Judge Jake Cunningham?" And I'm like, "I think I just met him a couple nights ago." And he's like, "Well, I just think you both are great people, and I was wondering if I could connect you via text." And then that was
And
that.
he did.
So,
And we got to give Judge Gorska a shout out too, because she had mentioned
Yeah, Judge Gorska
Yeah.
had mentioned, but see, what happened was from the concert to that text, he had been in a different group text with this Chuck guy and this other woman, Carrie,
yeah.
and somehow I was mentioned.
Your name got brought up somehow.
Yeah, and you're like, I
was
thought I
I
just met
this
him.
guy. What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you just kept hearing each other's names. So no one really made the first move. Your friends kind of made it for you. Is that correct? Like you didn't ask for his number. He didn't ask for yours.
Yes,
Fair.
fair, fair, but
Interesting.
yes, fair.
That's
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then we went on a date.
So neither
Yeah.
of you are good with first impressions, clearly.
No, we went. We went on our.
Our first date.
Listen, that night of the concert, you
All
could
you
have
cared about
put.
was
Yes,
Madonna.
you could have
And
put.
same, quite frankly.
Yeah,
Okay,
you could have
okay.
put Barack Obama in front of me, or you could have put any. It didn't matter. Everything was white noise until Madonna got there.
Interesting.
So
Okay.
it was a moment for me. The seats you gave me were still not real to me to be
Well,
that close to her
I
within
love you.
striking distance.
I
It
love
was-
this because I honestly think like God kept putting you guys together and was like, God bless y'all, figure
We-
it out.
Yeah.
And then he finally was like, all right, friends, take over.
We have actually, over the course of the last few months, figured out that we've actually been at events together, not like passing each other. Like he'd like MC something and I was attending, or like someone's birthday party. And
Yeah.
We've kind of put it together.
Like within the last 16 years, though.
Yeah.
Or
Within
like
the last years,
within.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like-
or like when you were already, both of you were already divorced.
with different
Yeah.
with different people at the time,
Yeah.
but like he was like, somehow some event got mentioned, and he's like, "Oh, I was at that birthday party," and I was like, "I was too." Like, it was like
Yeah.
that.
Well, I would like two good-looking gay men in one area, and if you're not, like, I just don't understand why that just wouldn't. I mean, I guess I understand why it wouldn't work, but if I was you, Hank, I'd be like, "Hey," and I wouldn't let him go. And same with you.
And we went on our first date, and I enjoyed him very much, and he thought I had zero interest in him. And it wasn't because of my phone. I wasn't.
I was
on my
literally
phone.
about to say that. Say, well, was he on his phone?
To be honest, he wasn't on his phone that much on our first date. I'll give him that. He was looking around everywhere else, but I think
So
maybe he was
here's
nervous.
Too late is now. He's on his phone.
Here's a
I
moment.
graduated.
Yeah, now you're.
Here's a moment that I will admit 100% honesty, and I think I told him this. So my eyes were shifting all over the place, and here's why. He has beautiful eyes.
I know they're insane. I keep.
They're
looking at
like
them.
crazy blue eyes,
and like really white all around.
Yeah.
I need to get you an edible. Calm those
and
whites
I
down.
just I had trouble just like looking in his eyes because they were so nice.
Oh well, yeah. I
Yeah.
don't blame you. I have trouble too. It's hard
Yeah.
not to look at them.
Am I sitting too
Now that
close
I
to
just
this?
said that,
Am I? Yeah, I'm
like,
sitting too close.
are edibles? Are they allowed here?
Yeah,
They're legal.
yeah.
Yeah,
Illegal.
recreational
marijuana.
recreational marijuana
Okay,
is illegal.
great. We can talk about that. Okay,
Yeah.
I was like, I have a judge next to me. I was like, yeah, edibles. Okay, I want to get into one story that I have not heard, but you lost Emma.
He did.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh
I
my
didn't
gosh.
lose her. I
No,
didn't lose
we
her,
all know you didn't lose her. She's found. She's here. So clearly,
yeah. I was tasked with picking her up one day, which was fine. It was great. We were supposed to like go to like my dad's pool. It was supposed to be but then it got cloudy and rainy, and my stepsister was like, "Oh, I'm not bringing my kid." I'm like, okay. So I go to pick her up from camp, and I'm signing her out. And by the time I'm finishing the signature, I look down and like, gone, vanished.
sounds like Emma.
Absolutely vanished. And I'm like, and no one seems concerned except for me. I can feel my blood pressure like increasing.
I
'cause I'm
cannot
like,
imagine.
I was like, this is
And when he's
problematic.
telling the story later, it's so judgy because he's like, I had just given my signature, which means I had retained custody of this child like
Yeah.
that.
God,
Like,
Yeah, I
so
had
bad.
finished the signature. I was like, oh boy, and so I say, is there like a space where the bags are or something? She's like, oh yeah, it's around the corner. I'm like, great. So she's just getting her bag. And I go down this like long hallway, and I'm, looking for it, and all I can see are grown men playing basketball. And I'm like, where's the door to the room? Where is she? And I'm starting to panic. And just as panic was about to get to like, I need assistance, she comes flying around the corner with a backpack that's bigger than her whole body, holding her tooth in an envelope. And I'm like,
she lost her tooth too.
it was a big day.
It's a big
It was
day
a big
for her.
day.
Big
It was
day
a big
for
day.
you.
Yeah.
The fear of losing a child and Matthew always says it's on X especially I know.
My
Relax.
Goodness.
Oh, what?
Wow.
What were those Georgia schools? Especially.
We like to pronunciate our
Okay.
words a little differently down there.
Okay.
Especially I don't even know what I was saying. Oh, especially when they're not yours.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Like I have a huge fear of losing my kids in general.
Right.
But if you're watching Khloe Kardashian's kids and they vanish,
Well,
you're
they
like,
don't vanish because
Yeah,
obviously they have
yeah.
a lot of eyes. But
Right.
like,
Losing your boyfriend's kid,
oh my gosh, I couldn't imagine.
horrifying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I think I might have just like puked
Yeah.
a little.
Yeah.
You know,
That's why I said my blood pressure was going up immediately.
it like gives me a little anxiety thinking
Yeah.
about it because I do have a lot of kids, and like eventually one is going to get lost or left somewhere. Like it's just part of the process of being a parent.
everyone's
right?
been left at a grocery
Yeah.
store.
Yes,
Yeah.
everyone's
I
been
was.
left.
Yeah.
If you weren't
You
left
have
as a kid,
4
then you know what,
kids.
you're probably not a cool adult to me in
Yeah.
my mind. But I don't
she
know.
was found.
She was fine. I
And
would
the
say-
tooth, which I also
And the
lost. I
tooth.
thought I lost the tooth
You
too.
thought you lost the tooth.
It was in my pocket. It kind of fell out of. It was in a really like.
Okay.
I was almost.
There was
skipping-
a lot
Can I
going
tell
on.
you? Can I tell you a trick if you lose a tooth? Because I lost one of the teeth of my kids, and they were like, "Mom, where's my tooth?" And I was like, "Oh, I'll bring it upstairs. Just go up, brush your teeth." I literally wrapped a piece of paper and
Oh,
like
nice.
smushed it and just put it in a bag. I was like, "All right, here it is. I'm gonna stick it under your pillow." Before they
Oh,
could even
That was smart.
fucking lost the tooth. I have no idea where it went. It's
Yeah.
probably like sitting in my bedside drawer, which is disgusting. But like.
Yeah.
Also, this is very interesting, and I want to get both of your inputs. Don't answer yet. You have Emma's teeth that she's losing.
Tooth.
Oh, I'm so well.
Well, tooth
Yeah.
or teeth,
More,
whatever.
more coming.
Yeah.
What do you do with it?
So I know my dad has a bag of my
No,
teeth or something, and I'm just
no.
like, I want to find it, get rid of it. It's just horrifying to think about. But here's the thing with that particular tooth, and I don't know if you've changed this or not, but that night he went in and did the tooth fairy thing, And I said, okay, what'd you give her? And I think, what did you have? Like,
$5.
$5.
or something,
And I go,
whatever
okay.
I have in my wallet.
Yeah. And I go, did you get the tooth though? And he looks at me and I'm like, okay, I don't have kids, but I know this one. And
You left the tooth?
yes,
I forgot.
That's the
Yeah.
exchange.
Yeah.
That's the reason for the tooth fairy.
I know. And I told her, I said the tooth fairy was too focused on giving you your money.
You didn't go back in and get it?
No, because she had rolled to another side.
No.
I wasn't about to.
So
wake
to
her
answer
up.
the question of where's the tooth, I think Emma still has it.
No, I have it now because remember I just put together this whole I needed to organize all of her pre-K, K,
And her teeth?
and the tooth was in there. yeah, the one tooth.
Bag of tooth.
So
You
I
put
still have the one tooth in there.
You kept the tooth.
Just the one, yeah.
You kept the tooth. That's my question.
Yeah, I don't know why.
Yeah,
but
I
it's
don't
in
know why
there.
either.
It's I think some people say baby hair or weird thing. I don't know. It would creep
That's
me
some
out.
fucked up shit. I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
Yeah.
That's I get the birth certificate and maybe the little hospital band when they're a baby and you put that in a book. But if you're cutting their hair and keeping some of it,
Yeah,
It's going to keep growing.
yeah.
No.
That once
no,
it's
I mean
off your
hair.
head.
Not when it's off.
Oh, I was
like-
no, they're going to keep
I was
growing
like-
hair is my point. Like, you
I
have
was
to save this
I
piece.
didn't know this.
That's some
Crazy.
Hannibal Lecter shit.
It
is.
No.
Well, yeah, and the teeth, it's a little much. I always throw the teeth away. The
Yeah.
teeth go in the
Yeah.
trash can, but I do have a fear of them one day opening up the trash can and I didn't bury it far enough and they're like, why is my tooth in the trash can?
The tooth fairy quit.
But don't
mid-job.
you
It's
have
fine.
the thing that happens with the trash can all the time? This happens to me at least once a week.
The homework and the artwork.
Yes, I will empty the backpack and I'll be like, "What is this crazy Picasso piece of shit you drew?" And I'll stuff it in the trash, and she'll be like, "Daddy,
Mm-hmm.
why did you throw away the picture I made? What was it that
Picture
she
I
said
made
last
for you."
week? Where she
Oh, I don't
said
know.
there was something because we were talking about how she speaks so well beyond her years, and
Yeah.
there was something where I told her she couldn't wear these shoes or whatever. Or I told her she could, and then I changed my mind. And she said something like, "How does it feel to, to hurt your daughter so much like
Oh,
that?
yeah. That was a good
How
one.
does that feel as a dad to do that to your daughter?" And I was
You're
like, "What are you
lying.
talking about?"
You're lying.
Yeah,
Over shoes.
Yeah, over shoes.
Last night there was a good one. She was supposed to brush her teeth.
Mm.
She comes outside and he goes, "Did you brush your teeth?" And she goes, "Well, yes, but don't check the brush because it's already dry."
She goes, "It dried that quick." And then Jake goes, "Well, let me smell your breath." And she goes, "I got to go inside."
She looked at me and she's like, about face. She was out.
Yeah.
Oh, she's gonna be.
And then this morning she said something to me about, I can't remember. She
She's
said,
gonna get
she
away
said,
with so
"Can I wear
much."
my pajamas to school today?" And I go, "No, you can't." And she goes, "Well, then I'm going to put you in prison." And I'm like, and then Jake goes, "Do you think she's been listening to my calls or something?" And I'm like,
She's like, "Well, I'm gonna put you in prison." She's like, "Jake." She goes, "Jake,
yeah.
handle this, please."
Yes, without a gavel.
That is crazy.
The future of kibble is here with Primal Pet Foods, a new kibble in the raw. Guys, I have never seen George run so fast to his bowl. And let me tell you, he is very fast. It's now easy to feed your dog raw nutrition, but with kibble-sized bits crafted from freeze-dried raw meat and premium whole food ingredients. I honestly love this because I know that I'm giving George this incredible nutrition, but I'm also not having to microwave it where it's smelling up the house. It's a regular just scoop. You scoop it out, you put it in the bowl. It's easy, it's mess-free, and it's good for him. It's why I love it. Level up with the kibble and the raw to provide your dog with optimized nutrition and digestibility, helping keep them in their prime. No need to change your routine. Just scoop, serve, and know you're giving your dog real raw nutrition without the mess. Find kibble in the raw at your neighborhood pet store or visit primalpetfoods.com to learn more. Our pets are our kids, guys. So we really need to do the research to make sure they are receiving the best nutrition, just like we would do for our own kids and ourselves. So go to primalpetfoods.com to learn more.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Let's face it, sometimes multitasking can be overwhelming. Like when your favorite podcast is playing and the person next to you is talking and your car fan is blasting, all while you're trying to find that perfect parking spot. But then again, sometimes multitasking is easy, like quoting with Progressive Insurance. They do all the hard work of comparing rates so you can find a great rate that works for you, even if it's not with them. Give their nifty comparison tool a try, and you might just find getting the rate and coverage you deserve is easy. All you need to do is visit Progressive's website to get a quote with all the coverages you want, like comprehensive and collision coverage or personal injury protection. Then you'll see Progressive's direct rate, and their tool will provide options from other companies all lined up and ready to compare, so it's simple to choose the rate and coverages you like.
Press play on comparing auto rates. Quote at progressive.com to join the over 28 million drivers who trust Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Comparison rates not available in all states or situations. Prices vary based on how you buy.
Speaking of the artwork in the trash, this actually happened to me the other day. I threw away Tyler's,
Yeah.
obviously.
Right.
Love her, but she's not an
Please,
artist.
Yeah.
And I have that times 4. So I'm
Yeah.
going through these folders and I'm like, all right. And I throw Tyler's away. And Tyler that morning gets up and she's like, Mom, I can't believe you. And I was like, what? She was like, you threw away my artwork again.
Yeah.
Well, then she walks away. Then the next one walks up to the trash, looks in the trash.
Same thing.
Same thing. And then Sawyer, who is my actual artist in this
Yeah.
like wants to be an artist. I threw away hers too because I don't have enough
What do
space
you-
for all
I
this
mean,
shit.
Well, I think you have enough. Space
Okay,
in
so-
that house.
All right, wait, let me
But
let me
let's
ask this
be real.
question: Why aren't you all doing something different to get rid of this stuff?
Right,
Because
like,
all your
there
children
should-
are rifling through the garbage all the
have a-
time.
you have a
Like, we
fire
know this
pit.
is a problem
What are
now.
we supposed to do?
Right.
What do you want me to do?
You need
I don't
an
know.
incinerator or something.
That takes
like-
too much time.
Yeah,
I
there's
don't have that
gotta
much
be-
time.
Yeah,
I'm
send it
going
home
to
with
bed.
people.
I all I want to do is get in my bed, take my CBD, and all this shit is lying on the counter. So I just take it. I'm like, fuck it, and I throw it. I don't have time.
Maybe it's. Maybe when
What do
they
you
go
want
to
us to do?
school.
Shred it?
I
You can
don't-
only shred one piece at a time. There's fucking 50
And I'm sure
pages.
there's glue and macaroni and all that kind of
Oh,
stuff
it's
on it.
horrible.
Why don't you put a trash can like in your office, and that's where you kind of sort that stuff, like in that room,
If
like
you-
where they have their backpacks there, and
If
then around
you've
the corner.
seen my office and Kiera has, there is no fucking room for a
It's
trash can.
already a thing.
Yes,
Okay.
it's a thing.
All right.
Listen, I would, but I just honestly, I don't have time. And they're going to have to learn. I can't keep all this shit.
Yeah.
And you don't want me to keep it because my mom kept some of it.
Oh yeah.
And she gave me a massive trunk full of crap. She's
Yeah.
like, I
Yep.
can't throw it away. So then I was like,
Do you still have it?
no,
You
fucking throw that
don't.
shit away.
Okay.
My
What am
mom
I gonna
gave
do
me.
with it?
She
I
gave
kept
me some.
of it.
Of
My
course you
mom
did.
gave me some of my stuff, and she was like, "Don't you throw this away?" I'm like, "But you're throwing it away. Like, what,
Yeah,
what
you're-
am I supposed to do with this?"
They're like
Yeah.
too guilty to throw it away, so
Yeah.
they give it to us to throw it
Yeah.
away.
Yeah.
And I told my mom, I was like, well, I'm just going to throw it away. She was like, what do you mean? I was like, I'm throwing it away. She's like, I saved it all these years. I'm like, if you really
Then
want
keep
it, you
saving
can have it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Thank you. All right, we're going to move on. We're going to play a game because I think we have like 5 more minutes. Is that good? Okay.
Yeah.
It's going to be sustained, overruled.
Do you know
and
what
just,
sustained and overruled
I just was about to,
mean?
just
Yeah.
for the
Yes,
people,
I don't.
not me.
Yeah.
No, I definitely me too.
Yeah.
Remind us which one is which.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sustained means
So
what?
during a trial, someone or a hearing, someone will make an objection, evidentiary-based objection, and they'll say, what the objection is.
Okay.
And if I agree with that objection, or if a judge agrees, they would say sustained. That's a good objection. Or they'll say overruled, and we'll move on.
Okay.
So
So-
a sustained is you agree, overruled is you don't.
Correct.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
So okay.
Are you
so
gonna
let's
do-
just throw things out.
Okay. Crocs.
Crocs. I would say. Well, now wait a minute.
Are we
Sustained
asking
is-
you or are we
Yeah,
asking
yeah.
me?
Sustained, sustained is you agree, overruled is you don't. Okay, so
Absolutely overruled on Crocs.
you like Crocs.
No.
I know.
God
Oh, wait, I'm
bless, Hank.
confused.
Overruled.
How's this Michigan education
Yeah.
for you?
Honey, I proudly will tell you. I went to Central Michigan and
Yeah.
it wasn't to be a biochemist, okay?
Okay.
It was to say words on TV.
Well,
So,
the words are being
sustained.
said and you're not understanding. But
Okay,
it's
so
fine.
again, sustained means we agree
We
with
agree,
it.
yeah.
And I've sat through enough trials where you think I would know this, but I need to watch more Law and Order, right? Okay, so you sustained it.
No, overruled. Hank, I'm almost hurt. Like, do you not know my style?
This
I'm not
is-
wearing Crocs. Okay.
Okay. I
Thank you.
Thank
okay,
you.
Go ahead. Voice memos.
Voice, in what context? Like voice to text or voice?
Well, so this is good.
Yeah.
There is audio, which is voice memo quote, where you send it and it has your voice.
Okay.
And then there's voice text that you say it and
then
it types it out.
dictates. Okay. Dictates means it
Oh.
writes it out.
Dictates is a
I
better
just
word
wanna
than
make
types.
sure-
Yeah.
It types it out. Technically it doesn't.
I would say this. So I have a couple friends. I have a stepsister in Spain.
Mhm.
She always does the voice memo thing. I mean,
Mhm.
and I have a couple friends that do it too. I'm fine with it, but the problem is then you gotta listen to it.
I know,
and
it's a pain in the
it's a
ass.
different kind of level of communication. I'd say sustained. It's okay. It's
Okay.
not everybody. It's not all the time. Now
Okay.
I will voice to text because it sometimes makes life easy.
Easier.
you
I
know?
agree.
So
Half the shit doesn't come out what you say, but I feel like people get it.
people get it as long as
Yeah.
you get the gist. You know
People
what I mean?
are like,
Yeah.
oh, she's definitely.
Listen, Siri. You know the
yeah,
point. Yeah.
you get it. I met the guy who invented Siri the other day. That's another story for another podcast. But I can't do the only reason I will do a voice memo, and this I learned from other people, is that it disappears.
It disappears. Yeah.
So if your phone gets hacked,
Oh.
so if you're trying to say shit that you don't ever want people to know, you do a voice memo. So sometimes when I get the voice memo, it's like, ooh, this is juicy.
You better be in a
know what I
quiet
mean?
place.
Yes, exactly.
Oh.
Other than that, I hate voice memos.
Okay.
I like FaceTimes.
You do, and I hate FaceTimes.
I have
So-
never FaceTime more than I have
Oh,
after I
okay.
met you.
Yeah.
Or eaten as much chicken, but that's just changed. too,
Yeah, because
so.
I'm not a chicken eater.
When
As
did
of
that
2
happen?
weeks ago.
Oh, that.
yeah,
Okay,
14 days
got
ago.
it. Got it.
2 weeks ago.
All right.
Social media.
Oh, sustain. Yeah, I'm good with social media.
Mm.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm
it's got
overruled
it's got
with
it's got its
Yeah.
ups and downs, but it's entertaining. I mean, I would assume for you, it's absolutely
Some of it's
sustained.
mandatory just because of work, and I get it. But there's moments of it that I enjoy it, and there's moments that I don't. I really do some deep dives into the Twitter recently, so I'm into the Twitter.
I like the
That's
entertaining stuff, like not
Yeah.
like
I
not
like the
heavy,
funny videos.
like funny videos. Like I'm sorry, but like sometimes when people fall down,
Oh my god, it's hilarious.
those are the best ones.
Thank
yeah.
you.
Yeah.
Matthew always says he's like you just laugh at people getting hurt. I'm like, it's funny.
I
Yeah.
mean, like
they're
because we've all done it. We've
yeah,
all
and like
tripped.
I feel like they okayed the video going online, so
Yeah.
who cares? I'm with you with that. All right, I'm gonna change this one because on this it says big expensive weddings, but I'm just gonna say getting married again.
Oh shit.
Yeah, I'm fine with. I don't know which one is agreement, but I'm.
I said, "Oh shit," and he did not hear my answer at all. So
Yeah,
I don't
no,
know.
I
Maybe
did.
that is the answer.
Yeah, I'm not jaded by my previous experience at all.
Okay.
Fair.
Yeah.
Same. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not either.
That's good
Mhm.
news. And then my last one, getting a timeout from social media.
Getting one?
Yeah, like taking a timeout.
Oh, I see.
Self-imposed or because
Oh gosh.
because-
Well, mine are usually not self-imposed.
Yeah.
But that's okay.
A timeout. I would say sustain. That's good. Sometimes you always need a break from everything.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Like to
we've had-
disconnect.
We when there's been a few times when we've gone somewhere and I said, you know what? Don't think that I'm not posting something because I'm trying not to whatever. I just don't feel like posting something and then have 40, people who are like have to engage with people. Oh, you're here, go here. Like I
Oh,
just
yeah.
sometimes
Yeah.
I'm just
It's
like
tiring.
Yeah.
It's tiring.
Yeah.
Okay. I was gonna roll that into watch out for timeout on Tuesday, but I have one more thing before we get into that. Do you have a dad to daddy for Hank?
Do I have a dad to daddy for
You know what a
Hank?
dad to daddy is?
So it's like
a dad to daddy is like because
Like hot dad
let's
shit?
have a moment. Not
Yeah.
it's not every week that Judge is listening to the podcast. So it's like it's a thing
no,
where
but one of my clerks does
yeah.
religiously.
So like a dad, you're like
Yeah.
he's cleaning up shit. There's whatever, but then there's a moment where he does something. You're like, ooh, daddy.
Okay.
Yeah.
So because he has had unbelievably bad luck all summer with trees falling in, around, and on his house,
Yeah.
watching the removal of some of that debris
Uh-huh.
is kind of like, I'm like, oh, all right, look at those arms.
Oh,
Yeah.
you were removing the debris.
Yeah.
Well, some of it,
Yeah.
because I mean, it was an expensive summer.
So
Yeah.
here's my question: were you watching or were you helping?
Both.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He
Okay,
helped.
there
Yeah, I
you
did
go.
help. Yeah, I did
Yeah,
help.
yeah.
I also
I
watched.
imagine you just on the lawn chair, like, ooh, yeah.
There was a little bit of
Get it,
that.
Hank.
There was a little bit of that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't mind
Yeah.
that.
So no, but it's.
Yeah.
I mean, he's
It
he's
was
a
a
good-looking
lot.
man. What
And-
can I say?
I agree. I agree
Yeah.
that both of you are. And I absolutely adore you. I adore y'all together. I've never seen Hank this happy. And he's been in happy times before, but never like this. So
What I
I-
love is that too, because you just said y'all, and I was texting him earlier, and I have some Southern roots. And so I texted him and I wrote y'all, and he goes, "Oh, that's right, Kelly's here. It's going to be a lot of y'alls this weekend."
Wait.
And I go,
Stay-
"Yeah." But one time he knows, like I have these moments where it comes out, and I did a live shot or a story with somebody.
Please say you're about to say cornbread.
Yes. And this woman was telling me what she was serving, and she was like, "Oh, and we're gonna have cornbread." And I go, "You're gonna have cornbread like that?" And I just like,
I'm dead.
like I literally
Just a
imagined
natural-
myself
I was-
eating it. Cause like, do you like a jalapeno cornbread? Or
Oof,
do you, yeah,
so good.
butter.
Well, that goes back to like, I mean, the reason why I saw this because whenever I can, I watch him on the news. Like if I I listen to you
Which is
guys,
so cute.
on the radio. Like when that happens, I sometimes listen to podcasts.
That's
I do
okay.
the job.
Listen, you know us.
But
It's okay.
but I saw that cornbread thing and I was like, who are you? What is that? What is that?
Cornbread?
Well, listen, stick around with me or hang around with me long enough, and you will be in your corner going, "Y'all better quiet down right now."
Yeah.
But truly, I'm so grateful for you for so many different reasons, but the main reason being of how happy you make him. And I'm grateful that you came on today because I know you are a busy man with re-election coming up. So again, if you live in Oakland County
voters.
it is Judge Jake. What's your first name?
Jacob.
Jacob.
Yeah.
Shit.
That's
it'll be
sustained and
it'll be
overruled.
listed as Jacob James Cunningham.
Jacob James.
under the
I love that name.
incumbent section of the ballot for the judges. For the
Okay.
Sixth Circuit.
All right. So if y'all are in Oakland County and you weren't planning on voting, I don't know why you wouldn't, but make sure you at least go vote for the judge section.
The most important thing is we want everyone to register to vote and, vote for whomever you want in life.
Register.
But you should,
I
can you
think
still
I am
vote in
registered.
Michigan? Michigan's a more important vote than California.
I know, but
Well, all right, but she's
Just
a
make sure
resident
you-
of California.
I am a resident of
Just
California. I can't
make
register. I can't vote
sure
here.
You
Yeah.
make sure you vote. Take time
There's a
to
judge
research.
sitting
Yeah.
next to us.
Yes.
That would be fraudulent.
Take time to research the candidates. No, take time. We're
Except for
approaching-
Judge, because obviously you just researched
You
him
just
through this
did-
podcast.
you did your research,
Yeah, this
yeah.
is enough research. See you guys for Timeout next Tuesday, or this coming Tuesday. Reminder, morning after is every Thursday. Timeout will be dropping Tuesdays. Rate us 5 stars. Leave a nice review. How can you not leave a nice review after this podcast? And like I say, if you're not going to leave a nice review, listen to what your mother taught you and don't say it at all and don't type it at all because that sticks with you, And Cleat Chaser Tour.
Los Angeles,
Los Angeles, what else?
New York,
New York,
Georgia, Athens.
Georgia sold out. Athens, we will keep you guys updated there, or we might have already updated. Okay.
New York City in December though is just splendid.
Are you
so
gonna come? Sorry.
we're
Are you-
trying
Yeah,
to figure all
yeah.
that out. Yeah, he's we're
I'll-
going to
I'll be in LA for sure.
Yeah, and we have a Rams game that weekend. Who are the Rams playing?
No.
Raiders. Los Angeles. Yeah.
Raiders.
Yes.
It is good. We need all the fans we can get
Yeah.
because Oakland's not far and that's where they used to be. So that's fun.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, this was so fun though. And we hope you guys have a great weekend. And again, just a reminder to come to the tour. Okay, love you guys. Have a splash.
Make a splash. Thank
you,
you.
Judge.
Bye.
Thank you.